Good, y'all. This your man, IRLnash. Welcome to the Pokemon Central. So, we did the preacher's wife last week, and the secrets from a preacher or whatever it was. Today, they don't have any more of the full episodes, but they have full episode recaps. So this is episode 2 of the family secret. The stepfather's secret is what this is called. So let's go ahead and tap into it and see what it is talking about.
I had no idea my search would uncover a horrific family secret. I remember my mother said to me, just be careful. I had an idyllic childhood, a loving family, and beautiful memories. But for most of my life, I've been focused on finding out where I came from. I had no idea my search would uncover a horrific family secret. I remember my mother said to me, just be careful and make sure that you're ready for what you might find.
See, that's the thing about mom sometimes. Why you ain't just tell me the truth if you knew all this shit? You talking about be careful. Alright.
It felt like a world collapsing.
That day would change my life forever.
Your past sometimes will catch up with you. That storm is coming.
Was just overwhelming. Then I blacked out.
See what they on.
I'm a firm believer in things happen when they're supposed to happen, how they're supposed to happen, whether you understand it or not. I definitely was raised by a mother who was strong and resilient, but we didn't really know that she was sick.
Still fine.
Between March and May of 2017,
Hey,
it just
look,
went
I'll
really
just
fast.
be honest with you. I'm sorry. She is talking about something tragic. I'm not trying to be, that guy inside against it to an extent, but black women just be fine, bro. They be fine as hell. All right, let's just move on.
And then she passed away.
Maybe I should have saved that for after the
With
story.
my grandmother passing, I know my mom felt a void, like something was missing at that time. There was a secret of, her origin.
For me, the goal became finding out where I came from. But I remember my mother said to me, be careful and make sure that you're ready for what you might find. After 30 years, I finally got it. My original unredacted birth certificate. It had where my birth mother was living at the time, and it had her
So they skipped past something, and I guess the something was that she was adopted. That's a bad part on the recap. That seems like it's very integral to the plot line. But we gonna keep going.
name, like, oh, we have it. Oh my God, like, that's her name. Deborah. And the name that I was born with was Kelly Ann. My mother's age was there.
15?
She was young, she was 15.
Damn!
The father was not listed. Once I was able to see my birth mother's name, then it was like, okay, now I have
15?
some place to go with this.
Shit. You know that nigga was like 20-something,
I remember
30.
being in the
Nasty
room, like in
bitch.
her room, when she had opened it, there was excitement. And like, this is the first step to kind of getting, some more information.
I'm talking about the nigga, not the woman. Sorry.
So the very first
Sorry.
thing was,
That I know that came off wrong. I was talking about the dude, not the 15-year-old girl. I'm talking about the dude, the nasty ass bitch.
if my birth mother was born in Harvey, what high school would she have gone to in 1966? There were two. One of the high schools at the time was predominantly white, so I'm like, nope, that's not gonna be it. Then another high school, that's where I hit. I remember touching the yearbook and just thinking, this person is real. This name, now I can put a face to it.
Look like your face. Shit.
I got her transcript. That was the golden ticket. It had Deborah's address at the time, her parents' names, what both parents did for a living.
Sheesh.
I was excited to have the information, and
She just got doxxed. Like, damn. After death doxing is crazy.
excited to share it with my mother. But I held off picking up the phone and calling her because by now we found out that my mother had cancer.
In May of 2017, my grandma passed away. We were all very sad, devastated.
Having lost my mother, now to go look for another mother, I felt guilty about that. And so I stopped.
Yeah, you hear that a lot, especially when stuff like that happens. You hear people, they always like, oh, like somebody got sick or somebody in the family or my father, he whatever, and I just felt like it was best for me to not. But it's like, you gotta still go down that path though. It's already up here. You already wanted to know.
When you're grieving, you want to be surrounded by family. So when talking to my mom, I told her into the new year, we should probably start looking again for your birth mother.
I found the service that would do background searches on people. So I put in my birth mother's name, and it populates people who are associated with her. I would cross-reference to Facebook. Ben Chambers. Was he my sibling? Was he the person who could connect me to my birth mother?
But this secret needs to come out.
And so I'm listening to Camille say, our mother's stepfather is your father.
Whoa, hold up, what? Our mother's. Oh my God. Oh my God. Some nasty ass, bitch ass niggas in this world, bro. That's crazy as shit, G. You having sex with your 15-year-old stepdaughter? You nasty son of a bitch.
And she said, you know, the sexual assault, it happened as early as, you know, like 7 or 8 years old.
Oh my God. That's...
And it was, you know, over the course of several years.
Your biological father raped your biological mom, and this is how you were brought into this world.
That's why she gave her up for adoption.
It was just like, it was
Crazy,
information
bro.
overload.
Yeah.
It was just so overwhelming. Then I blacked out. It was just too much. I remember saying that I want to stop. I need to take a break. And then I started weeping.
The weight of
Them doors you open up can't be shut again, man. You know, sometimes our parents, they do try to save us from things that it'll just fuck us up. And you just can't understand that until you open that door for yourself, and then you realize, like, I didn't want to be this far into it. The pain of not knowing sometimes is better than the trauma you receive from knowing. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there who disagree with that and think that that's the wrong thing to say to people, but I'm going to just be honest with you, man. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
The circumstances surrounding Lisa's birth, it felt like a world collapsing.
I felt pain projecting what she must have gone through. You know.
So technically, that's their niece. That would be their niece, right? Yes. And is it their father? Or is it their stepfather too?
Thinking about the sexual abuse, thinking about carrying a child that you know, maybe you didn't, well, at 15, you don't have a choice. She wasn't given a choice.
I called our uncle because he was in the house. He's her sibling. He would know directly. I felt like he was squirming as he was talking to me. Like, why are you asking me this? He just kept rejecting it. You know, and to have him just loft it off, and it's like you're protecting your father, who's not only a pedophile, a rapist, but you're protecting this. And I couldn't understand that. At one point, he did tell me my mother was not the first woman that his father stepped out on his mother with. I was just like, woman.
What? What did you do? That was, hold up.
His mother with. At one point, he did tell me my mother was not the
So that's her mother too?
first woman that his father stepped out on his mother with. I was just like, woman? You know, mom was a child.
She got multiple.
This was not like, you know, she was dating an
Oh
older
my
guy
God.
and she got pregnant as a teenager. This was her stepfather that had children.
So she got multiple kids?
With her mother.
You know, we're talking about a 50-plus-year-old secret. The reality is there are people who were very content with taking this to their grave. And that does not help the victim at all. It gives power to the victimizer. I just remember just really sitting at home and having a difficult time, just realizing the age my daughters were at that time, that my mother at that age was being sexually abused.
So she got, bro, please do not tell me all of these kids is his kids.
Raped by an adult.
She was at an age 15 years old or so. What could she do? When Deborah told me that she had a child, one thing just led up to that it was her stepfather. And then it dawned on me, okay, that's why he had a smirk on his face every time I was over there. You know, like, it was a laughter smirk. She went to her mother, but she said, I don't think my mother believed me at first. It was her word against his word. He denied it. And then there's the pastor. Deborah stopped going to the pastor for counseling because he said she must be enjoying doing it, being with her stepfather. And she must, because she came to him and not the police.
In my mom's situation, I feel like their are multiple settings in which she was failed. From the home front to the church setting, the two places where my
This
mom
is
should have
crazy,
got
bro.
hope, help, she got none of that. I can't imagine my mom being 15, navigating this.
So at some point, I did speak to Deborah's half-brother.
So this is all actually shit. I gotta redact everything I said before. Ignorance can't be bliss on this one. Ignorance can't be bliss on this one. It can't.
Who would be my uncle. He asked me, was I interested in meeting my birth father? And I said no.
When you kind of realize who your father is, how that came about,
That's crazy.
was definitely a hard pill for all of us to swallow. And being a woman, you know, you kind of are heartbroken about just what Deborah had to go through.
It was even harder to deal with the fact that while my birth mother had suffered so much, my birth father, her abuser, was still alive. She died without ever seeing him brought to justice.
We wanted to fight back for our mother because, you know, we're doing what she couldn't do. There's no statute of limitations. Why aren't we trying to press charges, get this guy arrested?
All they gotta do is do a DNA test. All they would have to do is get a DNA test. Because if she was 15 on her birth certificate and if the DNA is him, arrested. You're fucked, brother.
Ben and I went on this journey. We went downtown and we searched records for if there was any court case, anything in the files. And the only thing that we could find was our grandmother's divorce proceedings. It looked like it was brought up that the 15-year-old stepdaughter was pregnant and, you know, can we press charges? What can we do about this? And the court actually said, no, nothing. Because he was a family member, charges couldn't be pressed during the divorce proceedings. If we couldn't do it in court, I suggested that we make signs and go down to his house and get a bullhorn and say a pedophile lives here, a rapist lives here. I don't care how old he
This
is.
guy came
He's a
to see a
pedophile. You were a
15-year-old
pedophile
girl.
then. You still are a pedophile. You are a rapist. And I just, you know, just had these thoughts of, you know, him looking and say, who is this? And, you know, us being and say, we're Deborah's children. But I couldn't get anybody to do that with me. I came to this conclusion that, like, we're fighting for her, and maybe that's not really what she wanted. Maybe what she wanted was us embracing Lisa and bringing Lisa in. I feel like that would have been something that Mom would have done.
It's painful to know that my birth mother, Deborah, died without ever seeing her children in reunion. But we are all committed to keeping our new family bond strong in her honor.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's... Man. That's just crazy. Shout out them for at least, you know, figuring that shit out and bringing the truth to the forefront. But man, that's fucked up.